Peace. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Ron's Library and Ideas. This is Ron speaking. And on today's episode, we're going to be continuing in the book called Satan, an autobiography as told to Yehuda Berg. So if this is your first time coming to this channel and listening to this audiobook, let this be a disclaimer for you. This book is not about worshiping or glorifying Satan in any way, but it is about giving you a better understanding of what Satan is, or the adversary, and how you can overcome it. And if you've been here since the last time, bear with me for just a moment while I read this first paragraph in the opening of this book. All right, it says, using the literary device of an as told to autobiography, Yehuda Berg here explains the true nature of the adversary. According to ancient Kabbalistic wisdom, we learn that Satan, which translates from Aramaic as the adversary, is not really the name of a horned devil, but the description of an imposing force that resides within all of us, manifesting as a recurrent voice of uncertainty and negativity, wreaking havoc throughout the world. Indeed, Satan is actually another name for ego, the part of ourselves that stands in the way of our connection to the light, the source of all positive energy. So, in that first paragraph, I think the author does a wonderful job of dispelling some myths. And as we get deeper into this book, and as you listen to this story, hopefully you'll get a better understanding. Because now more than ever, is a time of resistance. And you resist the things that are going on, the troubles in the world, by bettering yourself. They don't talk about it much, but every time you take a step towards bettering yourself, it puts the energy out into the atmosphere. It increases that love energy that is inside of you, and that changes this place we find ourselves in. So let's continue on. We should be on chapter 12. And this is called test number 3. Can you learn to wait for the right moment? When you plant a seed in the ground, does it instantaneously bear fruit? Of course not. You wouldn't expect it to either. All things that bear fruit stay hidden for a time. This is a universal truth in both the physical and spiritual worlds. It's called concealment. And who better to tell you about all things hidden than yours truly? You see, if you allow time for the process of concealment, you ensure that great things will be unleashed into the world. Hurry the process along, on the other hand, and you'll have nothing but a dormant seed with no sprout in sight. Does that sound anything like death to you? It sure does to me. So, what does my little seed metaphor mean to you? It means that before your greatness can be revealed, your patience will be tested. And not just your patience either. I'll test your ego. That need to be out there and important right now. Here's a tip by way of preparation. When the moment of decision comes, you'll hear a voice inside you saying, why wait when you can have it all now? Any guesses as to whose voice that would be? Divine incubation. There is a period in every person's life when she knows that she is capable of so much more than she's doing, and her desire to burst into action is practically palpable. But remember this, all great work, no matter if it is a spiritual, business, or intellectual endeavor, requires an incubation period. In other words, you can't just want it, you've got to wait for it. Take the company Microsoft, for instance. It didn't become a multinational company in a day. Bill Gates operated in relative obscurity for years before his company gained the success it enjoys today. It's the smart folks, The ones who I haven't gotten a firm grip on yet, who recognize that they could offer even more to the world if they stepped out of its line of sight for a time to reflect and mature. It is only with a consciousness of humility and openness that a person can understand the nature of concealment. That's because if you lack the desire to wait and see what the light really has in store, then I've still got you. In fact, I'm at my absolute best when I work with people who have an addiction to the spotlight, a lack of patience, and a need for recognition. The greatest example of concealment I can give you involves a Kabbalist by the name of Rav Shimon bar Yaki. This was a man untouchable by me, a man fully plugged into the light. Rav Shimon lived in Israel in the 2nd century, a very turbulent time of Roman rule. Rav Shimon took up residence in a secluded cave in the mountains. Many believe that he was trying to escape persecution from the Romans, but it doesn't make much sense because Rav Shimon was the most powerful man who ever walked this earth. He was one of only a handful of men to call me out, to challenge me, and win. His presence in this world created so much light that there could be no free will. When you were in his presence, you couldn't possibly make a negative choice. Rav Shimon put himself in a state of concealment so that he could do the best possible work on your behalf. Truth be told, he did not want to repeat Moses' mistake of leaving part of the work to other people who might mess up. It was during Rav Shimon's time in the cave that he revealed the Zohar, the greatest weapon ever to be used in a fight against me. The Zohar contains all the wisdom of the universe, along with the hidden light that can ultimately remove me from this dimension. You can imagine how I tried to stop it. All the while, this man exhibited extraordinary patience. He understood the process completely. Here he had the most powerful gift humanity had ever seen, but he kept it under wraps, not only in his own lifetime, but for the generations that followed. It took 1,200 years before his great work became known to humanity. What is the truth behind concealment? When you are concealed and not boasting about your greatness, when you are hidden away from the outside world, what you are really hidden from is me. This is the only way your seed can grow and blossom without my influence. For 13 years, Rav Shimon lived with his son, Rab Elazar, in a cave in complete isolation while the greatest wisdom of the universe was being revealed to him. His willingness to go into hiding and to suppress his body's needs and comforts is what earned him the permission to receive this knowledge and to serve as a channel for bringing it to the world. My tactics. In order to dissuade you from the benefits of concealment, I'll plant the following thoughts in your mind. Patience will get me nowhere. I have to make things happen now. Why is it that no one recognizes all that I am doing, how great I am? To pass the test of concealment, you must learn to override these thoughts and become content with not being known, as well as not knowing when the right time will come. You have to tune out my voice which says, it's now or never. Consider the birth of a child. Surely, there is no other time in your life when you are more like the Creator. And yet, it takes 9 months from concealment to revelation before the miracle of life is complete. Bottom line, there is a time and a place for everything, and only God can determine it. But I will do everything I can to convince you that it's up to you to make the call. And if you're out there listening to me, I will either make you come out before it's time, or I will make you stay in hiding, which is very different from concealment. When you hide, I have full reign. All right, that brings us to the end of chapter 12. Can you learn to wait for the right moment? And I feel like this is a message that is right on time, especially considering what we're living through when it comes with social media. I know whenever they go back in time or in the future, when they do this study on social media and how it has affected the psyche of humanity, one of the things that it's going to show is that a lot of us has this need, or excuse me, a lot of us have this need to want to, as Kendrick say, pop out and show niggas. Like we have to be seen. We have to let everybody know that we're living this quote unquote luxurious lifestyle. Everybody wants to put on this front that they've got it, that they have everything all figured out, that they have so much money, that I'm living life like a celebrity without actually being a celebrity. Everybody wants to be social media famous. And I truly believe that this is a government operation that's aimed at destroying the psyche of the masses. I find myself, I have to stop myself at times from waking up in the morning and the first thing I do is pick up my phone and get on social media. It's like an addiction. You have to be on there. At least that's what it seems like. You have to show everybody what you're doing. I saw it starting, really, I started to pay attention to it when Twitter came out and people were tweeting their every move. Okay, I'm leaving from class now. Okay, now I'm going to the food court. This all throughout their day. Eventually evolved over time. But there's still this idea that we have to put on for social media. We have to put on for the public. And I think there are cities out there that are like that as well. I see people who move into the city of Atlanta and they get caught up with that lifestyle and everybody trying to be important and being a celebrity, and they get caught up in that lifestyle. That's why plastic surgery is at an all-time high. You literally have people sitting under a surgeon's knife to change things about themselves, to fit an aesthetic that they've seen on social media. Go and take a look at how so many of the women nowadays who've gone under the knife, they have like a very similar look. It's not an accident. On this channel, we're all about self-improvement. That's my goal with this channel, is to share with you the things that I have learned that help my life. And that's part of the reason why I'm reading this book out loud to you, so you have something to go off of. Because I said it in my earlier videos, I found this book pretty early in my journey towards knowledge of self. And it's very interesting in coming back to these books and seeing how these lessons still apply and how it's still relevant in my life today. Like, I'm glad I came back to this to learn some more, to have that lesson reiterated in my mind. Right now, my channel is relatively unknown versus other channels that are out there on YouTube that have millions of subscribers. But I know this time of concealment is good for me. It's helping me to perfect my craft. It's letting me get better at this. And it's giving me more time to learn as well. So I appreciate you guys for tuning in and for listening to the different things that I have to say. Hopefully this is something that will help you. So thank you guys again for tuning in. Share this with somebody that you think could use it. Hit that like button and subscribe if you're not already subscribed. And I'll see you guys on the next episode of Ron's Library and Ideas. And also, I really enjoy hearing what you guys have to say, just getting different perspectives. So feel free to leave some comments as well. All right, you guys. I'll see you next time. Peace.